Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being prompt. Sam, I don't know if the waiting room is automatic. So, well, thank you all for being nice and prompt. Whilst we're waiting for the others to join, and we will start sort of like just after 12:30. So get yourself settled. For those that have been to our event before, welcome back. And as you know, so this is lunchtime, so we appreciate people are spending their lunch hour with us or a bit more than that. So please feel free to have your lunches and eat and feel comfortable, or have your smoothies or whatever you want to be doing. For us, it's lovely if we can see some friendly faces on screen. But even the unfriendly faces, how about that? But if you aren't comfortable having your camera on, or it's not suitable, we understand that as well. So we just kind of want to make, because we know so many of you want to be part of the community, and it's nice for people to see some faces and names they remember from the past. What we might do, if it's okay, if you just want to put in the chat what you're hoping to get out of today's, or why you attending today's session. So what would you like to get out of today's session? That'll be great. Great news. We've got our two. I'm going to use the word expert speakers lined up, so they're here. So that's great news. So it means I don't have to do a song and a dance to fill the gap that we would have lost. So I can see. I can see actually. Please correct me if I'm saying your names incorrectly. Is it Arjumand? Arjumand on screen. So hello to you. I can see a Gail, Anila. Errol Percy. Please correct me if I'm saying wrong. If you can phonetically spell your name like I've got on my screen, so I'm Javid, that'd be great. I can see Carla Lopez, Jeff, Chaz. Hello, Chaz. Hopefully, I'm saying it correctly. Looks like you're on a train or going somewhere fast. Yeah. uh, that's it. So if I just go into the chat, so what are people looking for? Find out what others are doing to commemorate the week. Got Keith. He's a member of the BLM R&E steering group at Coin Street. We love Coin Street. We know you've been quite engaged with us for quite a while now. We've got Sophie to learn more about Race Equality Week and ensure it's a week of learning, inclusion, and support for our colleagues at HOS. And are saying hello to everyone. Keith Weinstein, thank you for correcting me on that. Lovely, Keith. Hopefully, I've got it right now. So yeah, if we could phonetically spell a name, or when we introduce ourselves to other people, help them get our names right, or we should check with other people how should we say your name. Camera's off. I'm in a busy office. That's okay, Tracy. Jenny Woodhead. Oh, hello again, Jenny. To learn more, get ideas, and to be encouraged. So conscious of time, we've got lots to go through today. So if we can just start it, that'd be great, Sam. Thank you. Okay, so this is a review of Race Equality Week and plans for 2026. Okay, I'm Javid Thomas, co-founder, along with Raj Tilsiani. Raj unfortunately can't be with us today, so I'm doing a bit of a double act here. It seems seamless. It'll look like one person talking because it will be. But he says say hello to everyone. So thank you very much. Okay, so just a bit of housekeeping. The event will be recorded, and which we will share afterwards. There's closed captions is enabled in the main session, so that should be available for you at the moment. You will be the sound will be audio auto muted, so except when you go into the breakout sessions. But if you've got any questions or you want to ask something, please do so in the chat, and we'll do our best to get back to you. So today's agenda, in the next 75 minutes, there'll be a lot of firsts. So the first to hear about key insights from Race Equality 2025. You'll be the first to hear about exciting new initiative called Tea Break Week to help support you during Black History Month and other key moments. You'll be the first to hear about a new tool for you to take a snapshot of your D&I journey for race equality and what can help you. We think it's a game changer and can't wait for you to see the prototype. And there's more. Today, we'll be sharing plans for the 5-day challenge 2026, exploring themes for Race Equality Week 2026. So you remember this year was Every Action Counts, and touching on the D&I backlash. We'll spend a minute or so in there just for yourselves. And of course, we have our expert speakers, and there'll be a couple of collaboration discussion groups. It's great if all of you can join it, but we appreciate for some it's not so comfortable. But that's where we learn and share from each other. We'll finish at 1:45, and for those attending today and contributing, there'll be 50 plus ideas that you'll get in the next few days to help you on your journey for Race Equality Week 2026. Next slide. We see for those some new faces here, and also those that registered. Many are new to Race Equality Week, so just a quick reminder of what we do and how we help. So we exist to meet the needs and fill the gaps to tackle race inequality by providing ready-to-go solutions, and you can see them there on the slide. Resources and tools to help change makers like you in organizations across the UK and beyond. Next slide. These include how to do it right implementation guides and workshops and some events. We also run a series of free virtual events throughout the year. All of these can be accessed in the solutions section on our website. A lot is free or affordable for yourselves. Okay. Next slide. Crucially, all our solutions are not for ticking boxes, but to focus on making significant impact, and they do, as shared on the screen. Everything we create is built in collaboration with the community and those with lived experience of these issues. So a huge thank you to you all. I can see some of you are here today, so hello. You tell us we make a difference, and we've got to say this is only possible because of our mission is powered by partnership. Everything we do is only possible because of incredible funding partners committed to race equality. A special thanks to Lloyds of London and Green Park for powering Race Equality Week and more. We're also proud to be supported by and work alongside founding partner the Collaboratory, the visionary partner BT, and value partners Auto Trader, HS2, Amy, Direct Line, Idleman, Network Rail, and CMS. As a not-for-profit, our mission remains the same: to create lasting, meaningful change in race equality through yourselves and your organizations. For 5 years, we've proudly offered our resources and support at no cost, but to continue and grow and sustain ourselves, this vital work, we need to ask for your support and partnership. If your organization shares this mission, there are several ways you could help us sustain and expand our impact, but importantly, it provides greater benefit to yourselves as well. There are 3 ways, and they include commercial benefits if you want to become a funding a strategic partner. Second option is access to exclusive additional resources. So we've already got 150 organizations are race equality members, and then you'll be able to proudly use our race equality membership logo and access to a whole suite of resources and exclusive events. And thirdly, you can ask us to come in and provide some REM expertise to deliver our solutions. We don't do stuff that we're not, I'm going to say, experts in. You can go to other organizations, but if you want one of our solutions, we're perfect for that. And we can also train your people to run our solutions. If you'd like to find out more, there's a link a Calendly link where you can book a quick chat with one of the team to find out how we can help you. Next slide. So to get us going, we'll start with our famous State of the Nation poll to get a sense of where we're on the journey. There are just 9 questions. I think I've managed to get to 15 once. So it just takes about a minute. It'll be great if you could all participate, and we will share the results with you, some during the session and then the rest after. That's fantastic. Thank you all for completing the opening poll for the State of the Nation. So who's in the room today? So 45% identify as an ally, and then 55% ethnically diverse or appropriate equivalent. So a really good mix of perspectives. The roles you all play in your organization. So 15% are senior leaders, 11% HR, and 29% D&I. We've got 19% of Race Network members and 27% Race Network leads, and then 24% other. So again, a good diverse mix of roles, responsibilities, and I guess reasons why we're all here. Question 3, has your organization participated in Race Equality Week before? So 52% saying yes, so that's half of you saying yes. The other saying no and not sure. So let's assume half of you organisation haven't, so we'd love that to change by the end of today's event. How is your organisation addressing race inequality? So if we look at the focuses on action and not just words, which is what we're aiming for, so this is focusing on action, not just words. It's 35%, so 1 in 3 of us. So, or our organizations, that is not enough, and that is what we need to keep moving. 53% talks and does a little bit of action. So half are talking a little bit of action, and we hear from our community that that typically that is not enough. So thank you for filling that out. Question 5. Has your organization done anything that has made a noticeable impact in tackling race inequality? Fantastic to see 52% of you, so just over half, saying yes. And we'd love to hear from you. We want to sort of know what's making a difference, what's making an impact. And 33% saying not sure. Sadly, 15% saying no. So again, hopefully our solutions and Race Equality Week will help your organizations become much more impact focused. Question 6. Does your organization help make tackling race inequality everyone's business? We keep talking about it's not the HR role or the race network role or the DEI role or those living with the experience of race inequality. It's everyone's business. So 59% saying yes. So I think that's the highest we've had so far. We haven't got above the 60% yet, but 59% is heading in the right direction. We'd love to hear from your organizations of what your organization has done different or pivoted to make that happen. Question 7. Does your organization have constructive organization wide discussions about race inequality? So 47% say yes. So just under half of you have constructive organization-wide discussions. That's not enough. 33% saying no, and then 20% saying not sure. We appreciate you may not be able to answer that question. So there's more than half of the organizations here today aren't having constructive organization-wide discussions. And when we talk about tea break and tea break week, that will hopefully help you. So we'll be talking about that later. Question 8. Has your organization implemented any of the Race Equality Matters solutions? So if we go for the most engaged one, so that's 35% here, the 5-day challenge. So I guess that's because a lot of you are new organizations. That's sort of 65% haven't done the 5-day challenge yet. Please do look at it, and we will be sharing a bit of it later. And then we've got 27% my name is, so that's 1 in 4. And then we've got 11% doing tea break, 13% big promise. And then there's 20% saying not sure, and 27% none of the above. So please do look at our solutions. Many of them are for free and can help accelerate your tackling race inequality. Question 9. Do you think a tool to help you understand how your organization is doing in addressing race and inclusion would be helpful? So 76% saying it's helpful. It will be helpful. So that's 3/4 of us here today. It's great to see 8% know how you are doing, and we'd love to hear from you. No one's saying it won't be helpful at all, and then 15% saying not sure. So thank you all for completing this. So now on to the next bit. Okay, so the main part of the event, we're here to hear about Race Equality 25 and its impact, and for you to learn and share your highlights with each other. One of the most consistent bits of feedback we get is organizations telling us they need more time to participate. So we've listened, and today's event is giving you a whole 9 months notice. 9 months notice, there you are. So that's why it says 2026 on there. So take a snapshot of that, put it in your social media, send it on your emails. So 2nd to the 8th of February 2026 is next year's one. Okay, so no more excuses. It might feel a long way off, but trust me, February comes really quickly. Next slide, please. Before we meet our first speaker, we'd like to share a highlight video from 2025, and some of you may be in it. Thank you.
This year's theme is Every Action Counts, a powerful reminder that change doesn't just come from big moments or grand gestures. It's built through small, everyday actions that we can all take.
It's Race Equality Week this week, and what that means to me is having a space where people can feel valued, bring their true self to work, and creating a space where we can celebrate each other.
Everyone knows that engagement leads to productivity, but what we're saying is through getting involved in Race Equality Week, you can also increase inclusion, and that inclusion then increases your engagement.
We are also celebrating Race Equality Week and our commitment to raising living standards for everyone, putting more money into people's pockets through measures like ethnicity pay gap reporting. These initiatives demonstrate our commitment to fostering a more equal and inclusive society where everyone's dignity and rights are respected.
I've already created my poster with Proud to Support Race Equality Week and dropped my picture in, so thank you for that.
When you start with diversity and inclusion work, you focus on events, but then you get more specific interventions around recruitment, around career progression, etc. And then the ultimate objective, really, to be sure that you're focusing on the right things, is to be able to measure the impact of these things.
Including the senior leadership team was so passionate about fostering an inclusive environment. And trust me, that really helped us to increase our visibility and also just to open doors for us.
And here at DLG, I'm working alongside my colleagues, undertaking a 5-day challenge. And that 5-day challenge is all associated with Race Equality Matters, which is all about a simple but powerful way to spark reflection, have great conversation, and start instigating change.
It's Pete Miles from the Environment Agency and I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
I'm Gaia from ThoughtWorks and I'm doing the 5-day challenge.
I'm Clark from High Speed 2 and I'll be doing the 5-day challenge.
سلام من شکوه هستم
And I also said that I would report on how we're doing in relation to ethnically diverse talent. I'm really proud to say this year, the corporation has achieved 39% of ethnically diverse hires.
this week has made me go, yes, I can. Yes, I will. And it's about action, not just words. So for me, this week has been inspiring. I've put here motivated today. I've been energized.
David, we can't hear you.
Sorry, thank you for that. Big thank you to Anna and the team who's made that video, which is I take my hat off to her. Hopefully we can keep her and she doesn't go to Hollywood. But everyone can have access to this video after as well if you can use it. And there's always opportunity for you to be involved in next year's by doing something. So next slide, please. On to our first speaker, Belinda, who will share her organization experience running REM's 5-day challenge. But before she does, and for those new to it, I'll just give a quick overview of the 5-day challenge. Sorry, the 5-day challenge is one of the hero activities of the week. And we saw, I think, about 30% of you did it. In a nutshell, it's 5 challenges over 5 days that just take 5 minutes. It includes eye-openers, videos, and more. Last year, we broke down the daily topics into intersectionality, privilege, inclusive language, code switching, and masking. And of course, what brings it all together, the big promise, as you heard from Mark at Lloyd's. So without further ado, I'm delighted to introduce Belinda Wilson from Bedfordshire County Council as an incredible change maker. She's going to tell us how she made sure that the 5-day challenge made a real impact at her council, as well as the big promise was used to hold her senior executives accountable throughout the year. Belinda is a business support manager. She's also chair of the Race, Religion and Culture Network, where information and ideas are shared and understanding of their differences are raised across the organisation to ensure and maintain inclusion. So a real change maker. So Belinda kindly recorded this for us last week. Thank you.
What did Central Bedfordshire Council do for Race Equality Week 2025?
Okay, so Central Bedfordshire Council, this is our second time of doing the Race Equality Week. And we did the 5-day challenge and the big promise at the end. So we had done this the first time last year, February, and we found that this worked really well and seemed to be the one that engaged most of our staff and got a lot of interactions and interesting conversations started.
How useful did you find the resources for Race Equality Week 2025?
I think it was when I looked at the resources, and the resources were really, really useful. They're very interactive. And the fact that we are all really busy. So actually just having a look at the video, if you didn't look at anything else, they were short, snappy, really interesting, thought-provoking. And I actually thought the first time around, especially, let's do something that will have a quick impact and not take so much time out of everybody's work day.
How did you manage to maintain momentum after Race Equality Week?
Okay, so at the end of the first year, in February 2024, we said that we asked all of CMT to provide a big promise, which they did. There had to be a bit of reminders, constant reminders to get them to do it, but they all did, and that was from the chief exec down to all the directors. And then as part of 2025, and this was actually something that suggested goes, oh, okay, so we're doing Race Equality Week again. We're doing the 5-day challenge. What has changed, or what did they promise, and how has it been progressed? So I literally sent out communication to those, because some of our TMT have left, so we've got new members in. But I sent out to those who are still here and said, this is what you promised. Can you please provide me with an update in terms of has that promise been met? And actually, in terms of, especially for the chief exec, his big promise, he has actively, he has shown that he has done that and continues to do that, which is really positive. And then with two of the other directors, there's somebody else who has come up with like a workforce action plan that is looking at diversity and in terms of leaders. And another one was related to the equality pay gap. And so that is being looked at, and we have been given sort of the stats for that. And the network, my network, has been asked to be involved in finding out, you know, what are the disparities? Why are they there? Why are people leaving? Why they're not being paid? Why is there this gap? So that's been really positive in terms of some of the big promise that's come out that was made last year.
What would be your top tips on how to have an impactful Race Equality Week?
I think it's first of all to try and get buy-in from your leadership team, from your CMTs, so whoever is like the leader of your company, because if you get that buy-in, it should then disseminate from the top down, and that definitely does make a difference. And I think also it is about planning how you're going to communicate that within your organisation, because within local authority there's so much news, and one of the things that I was told is that we don't want to bombard people with too much stuff. It's got to be the right timing as to when you start to tell people about the lead up to it. But it's also about trying to make, however you send it out, that you can record the responses and the impact it's had on people. So even if it's in terms of the conversations you have, but if it's the clicks or how many views that you've had on the resources, you need to have that, because stats is such a powerful tool.
Brilliant. Some powerful words there by Belinda, and the importance of using Race Equality Week to build momentum for change. And I think, you know, going back to the 5-day challenge, 5 minutes. So just them 5 little minute things. She's now got the whole organization going up and down the organization and being driven or co-driven by the senior leadership team. So please do look at, and in the 5-day challenge guide, it does tell you how you can roll it out in your organization. Yeah, it's simple and ready to go and built by the community. Okay. So next slide. Yeah, we said it's going to be very collaborative and interactive. So we'd like you to go into your first breakout session and basically share your ideas with each other. So what did you do during Race Equality Week 2025, if you did it, or do you have thoughts what you could do in 2026? So we're going to put you into about sort of 10 or so groups. And yeah, you'll have about 7 minutes. When you go into the group, don't spend time introducing yourselves. You won't have time for that. Just go on with it and give everyone a chance. So what did you do for Race Equality Week 2025? Or do you have thoughts what you could do for 2026? There is a link in the chat if you need some audio support when you go into that breakout thing. So you'll go in there and we'll see you soon. Thank you very much. I can see some of you haven't gone in there. We appreciate you may not feel comfortable to do that. If you just want to put in the chat your what you did for Race Equality Week or thoughts for next year, please do so. And we will collate it and keep it anonymized and share with everyone after. We're going to ask everyone else to do the same as well. So yeah, I'm just going to go and join a room. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I was talking nonsense, so you missed nothing. Okay, welcome back, everyone. My group was great. Lots of stuff coming out, and different parts of the journey, different levels of experience. But what one thing that was great is what some would be quite embedded and a lot going on. Others say, you know, we started to get more traction and more engagement. I think it's if every organization had no one doing anything, we're not going to get any change. It's this thing. If every organization, sometimes you have, maybe in year one you get one person, then two, then four, it goes. And some people say, yeah, this year we didn't have to get senior buy-in or senior sign-off. It's things like that. So this is getting this wave or this movement, and we collected it. If in the chats, can you just put what you did for Race Equality Week or what worked well or your thoughts for 2026? I'll just give you about 30 seconds. Don't worry about typos or spelling mistakes. We'll tidy it up. We'll anonymize it, and then what we'll do is we'll collect we'll create a document for you all to have for next year. So I know in our group there was at least one person that was new to it. So again, they can take they can get some of these ideas, but also you'll hear ideas you may not be aware of. And in my group, someone talked about getting learning and development involved, which is brilliant. That's really embedding in the organization. So thank you to all that sharing. So yeah, the more we have of this, and remember, I did say you're going to leave with about 50 plus ideas from today's event. So no one goes home until we get close to it. Okay. Give another 15, 20 seconds. I appreciate you. And please don't worry about correcting your typing and all that stuff. We'll get the gist of it and we'll sort of tidy it all up. Okay. And it will be anonymized when the report comes out. So we're close to 30. So it means when we do our next breakout, we've got to come up with 20 more ideas. Otherwise, I failed in our mission. As I said, we always want to hear from yourselves. So the theme this year, people would have seen the visuals, every action counts. And if you think about it, it's really important words. What we'd like you all to do is help us contribute to next year's theme. So if we could just release the poll, and you can tick more than one box. It's not just pick your favorite, tick all the ones that you like. So I think there's about 7 on there. There's just one question. So it should come up on your screen. If you can all just tick as many of them as you like. If you like none, that's fine. So as we say, we love you all to contribute to the theme for Race Equality Week 2026. So the most popular ones at the moment are progress, not perfection. So 61% of you saying yes to that one, and then 55% equality every day, 53% saying be the change. The next one in there is 52% act with allyship, and 48% no voice left behind. So all of them, nearly half of you would be very keen on at least one of them. And then we've got positive difference, 33%, and unite with action, 39%. So we'll review this and think about it. We may sort of combine some of them, but we'll run another one with another community event, and then hopefully late summer we'll be able to share with you the theme for Race Equality Week 2026. So thank you tons. Okay, so next slide please. So having heard Belinda's experience and that of thousands of others doing the 5-day challenge, and with 79% saying they want a new 5-day challenge next year, we now would love your input on that. So I'd really appreciate if you could just write in the chat a topic or topics that you think would be good. So if you're having a say, I would like, or what would be helpful for my organization if you talked about X or if we had Y. So, and I appreciate some of you may not know what the 5-day challenge is. As I said, it's little 5-minute bite-sized things. We've done microaggressions, intersectionality, getting people's names right, etc. So just put them in the chat, and then it'll help us build next year's one. I'll read some of these out as we're doing this. Talk about language and names. What's the thing? Thank you for that. Was that by Matthew? Brian, microaggressions remain thought-provoking. Yes. How to bring your whole self to work. Mana. Apologize, Islam, if I'm saying that incorrectly. Vivian saying access to language, psychological safety. Muhammad. Helen, microaggressions. Again, career progression. That's an interesting one. Subconscious, conscious, and challenging those biases. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. So please keep throwing it in there. We'll go through the whole chat later. And you'll definitely have an input into what we'll do this year. Okay, close that. My screen's getting busy. Right. Okay. So thank you. So due to numerous requests, we want to introduce a new idea. So as well as organizations able to access the resources for the 5-day challenge, what we're looking to do is provide live daily interactive virtual sessions. So at the moment, you can run the 5-day challenge yourselves with a PDF, but we're thinking of Race Equality during Race Equality Week. Every day, we will run a session on each of the themes. Okay. Next slide, please. Each session will be just for 25 minutes. So I said the 5 day challenge takes 5 minutes itself. So there'll be a theme, um, a daily theme. There'll be an eye opener, a short video, like someone mentioned, light theory, and practical actions. And then this will be followed by 2 mini breakout sessions like you've had now. So let's pretend it was on intersectionality. So you've learnt it. And then basically you go into a group and talk about intersectionality or how it's going in your organization. And then after 7 minutes, we'll put you in another group. So you'll be so in that time. So we'd love to know what you think about this idea. So we're going to do a quick poll. Fantastic. Thank you. So 5 day challenge. Has your organization taken part in a 5 day challenge previously? So 51% saying yes, and then 31% no, and 80% not sure. Have you taken part in the 5 day challenge previously? So 52% saying yes, so most probably through your organizations, and then 45% saying no and not sure. Question 3, would you be interested in the daily 25-minute live events during Race Equality Week focus on the challenge of the day? So a fantastic 83% of you saying yes, 2% saying no, and then 14% saying not sure. And then final question, do you think this would be good for your colleagues attending these live sessions? So again, 79% saying yes, 2% saying no, and 19% not sure. So that's wonderful stuff. So thank you very much for that. So as we can see, sort of half of you have used or accessed the 5 day challenge. Please do look at it. It's a wonderful resource, and we'll reach out to you if you want to help us co-create this year's one. We've got some interesting themes already, and you look forward to going through your data or your suggestions of what we can include. So thank you. So we just want to pause just for a minute or on Race Equality Week because of DEI in the UK. We're fully aware that many of you have felt the weight and the growing backlash of diversity inclusion efforts, particularly since the start of this year and all the narrative of social media and the press. And it continues to ripple and cause great concern. We're aware of that. These are undoubtedly challenging times for those committed to equity and positive change, but also for marginalized, excluded and minority groups. We're not ignoring it. And in response, we started a new blog series on our website. So the first one's up there. And the purpose is to provide insight, our thoughts, support and encouragement for you all. And it'll have some data and stuff going on as well. We recognize the importance of coming together as a community to share experiences and strategies for navigating this difficult landscape. And we will do this, and we'll do so if this is something that's important to you. So can you just answer this quick poll to see, I think it's got 3 questions. Are you concerned? Is it having effects? And what things are you're most concerned about? Some of these are multi-tick, yeah. So we can just share the feedback on how you're all thinking and feeling about the DEI backlash. So 74% of you are concerned about this DEI backlash. So that's 74%, which is a huge percentage. 90% say no, and then 7% not sure. We'd love to hear from those that say no to understand why you're not. And maybe it's because your organizations are not going to be affected by it and really committed to focusing on D&I still. Question 2, are you concerned about any of the following? Leadership support, 44%. Allyship support, 36%. Budget cuts is your biggest or second biggest concern, which is 64%. And a 68% an increase in discrimination. So this DEI backlash, those of us that minority, marginalised or excluded are quite concerned about that. And then again, 53% an increase in exclusion. 63% are concerned there's going to be an increase in microaggressions, and 57% a decrease in DEI support. So again, it's clear that there is concerns here. And then 59% of us are concerned about the impact on other colleagues. So thank you for that. So it's quite worrying data and stats. I guess it'd be quite good to keep an eye on this and see where we are in 3-6 months, when maybe organisations have settled and we see which direction the support is going. And the question 3, are you noticing any change in your DEI support? So 1% saying a lot worse and 25% slightly worse. 59% say no change. So hopefully that holds, but again, it still might be early days. And it's great to hear 50% saying better DEI support. So again, we'd love to hear from you. Is it you're kind of doubling back on the backlash or doubling up against it? So that's quite heartening to hear. So again, we'll keep tabs on this and look forward to sharing the results in the future. Thank you very much for that. What would be helpful if in the chat, so we won't have time for a breakout on this. If in the chat, could you put any ideas, thoughts, and plans on addressing the DEI backlash? This might be what your organization is doing, what you think organizations could do or should do. So anything in the chat that you think will help address this, because I can see 77% of you are concerned about it. At the moment, 60% saying there's not been no real change, but 26% saying things are getting worse. So if you just put in the chat thoughts and ideas, what your organization may be doing about it, or what you think organizations need to do to support and make sure, we're not, it doesn't go against everything we've all been trying to do all these years. And I said, we will share these poll results with you all afterwards as well, okay? Okay. So I'm just going to give you the heads up, Iruka, if you can just unmute yourself, and then if we can spotlight on Iruka. Thank you. So can see you. Thank you for that. So this basically leads us nicely onto Iruka, basically who's committed, energized, and driving change in their organization. And they're based in Cornwall, so you can imagine it can be not as much diversity and can be more challenging in sometimes more rural areas like that. Iruka joins us from Cornwall Council, where she works as a policy advisor. She's an EDI policy advisor and also leads a Race Equality Action Forum. Iruka ran the Race Equality Matters tea break during Race Equality Week. And in recognition of the impact it's made, Cornwall Council have been recognised for and achieved Race Equality Matters Bronze Trailblazer status for their tea breaks. So I think it's fantastic that we can hear from Iruka Ede. So why did Cornwall decide to host tea breaks as part of Race Equality Week?
Yeah, so historically, we didn't have a space for open and honest conversations about race within the council. And as you mentioned, given the rural nature of Cornwall, it was very important for us to actually create a space where we're able to have these conversations. So in collaboration with a local mental health charity called Pentreath, that focuses on supporting minority people of Cornwall, we actually ran our very first tea break in 2021. And actually, as a result of that tea break, we saw that it was important for us to keep this conversation going. So now we hold them about every 2 months for notable events and weeks, like Equality Week or also Black History Month. And actually, they provide an opportunity for people to hear different experiences and perspectives, which is really important for us as an organization.
That's brilliant. It's great. You've done it once, and then you just, it's so good. You yourself or the colleagues want more of it, so that's fantastic. So, what's been the impact of running tea breaks for Cornwall Council, during Race Equality Week, but also beyond?
Tea breaks have been very impactful. They've given employees the confidence to speak open about topics that may be difficult or uncomfortable to have. Sometimes talking about race can be actually quite challenging. So tea breaks provide a way to break down those barriers and encourage honest and open dialogue. And actually, we've seen that some attendees actually share tips, insights about different things that they have done as a result of coming to tea breaks. Some have also said that they've actually improved their practices in terms of recruitment practices, which actually helped to improve the outcomes. And actually, we've seen as a result that tea breaks are very adaptable. So we've recently launched a faith literacy program, which focuses on discussing faith and belief. So we've seen this model can be used to talk about different things. So that's why we are able to expand our use of tea breaks beyond race as well. And overall, the impact of tea breaks have seen an increased confidence and understanding, and definitely a culture of inclusion and belonging due to the results of tea breaks.
That's wonderful. I think that's the purpose of it. Can we learn from each other, and can people share insights and experiences? So it's brilliant. So there are going to be a lot of organisations here that may be thinking about doing tea breaks. So what top tips would you provide them if they wanted to run in their organisations?
I definitely say start with good facilitators, people that are passionate about tea breaks, opening up these discussions, people that can provide like a safe and open space to actually be able to handle these conversations with confidence and also being sensitive towards these conversations and topics. And also being able to use resources that 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 you provide as an organization. So I know that REM have a lot of packs and resources available on your website, and also to secure leadership buy-in through highlighting the importance of this initiative, but making it very clear that tea breaks are not owned by senior management, but they are supported by them, and that they're actually employee-led, which helps to build trust. And also, I'll say to engage employees early on, ask what topics matter to them, what they want to discuss, and also to get feedback. So maybe frame it as, this is something that we would like to do. So what would you like to talk about? What more do you want to learn about? So this helps to ensure that the sessions are also relevant and also meaningful for your employees.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I saw earlier in the chat people saying about themes for 5-day challenge, and themes microaggressions and inclusion. They're really good themes for the tea breaks, and it's great. And yeah, it's all about that. It sounds like you're engaging all people in all different ways, and that's the beauty of it. So it's how do we bring us all together, talk about subjects or issues that we either avoid or don't know how to. So thank you so much for sharing that, Iruka. That was wonderful. And so we're recording today's event, so again, people can have access to this the video of what Iruka was sharing as well. Over 20% of you ran tea breaks during Race Equality Week, which leads us to our next section and a new concept for you all. So race equality matters. I think Iruka mentions, and someone else did, takes the weight off your shoulders and does the heavy lifting for you for Race Equality Week, but also beyond them. Tackling race equality inequality is not a pop-up or one-off activity, but we know how hard for many of you to know what to do, how to keep the momentum going, and how to make an impact. So doing the heavy lifting means we're creating ready-to-go, free and affordable solutions. We free up your time, and we provide solutions that work and helping you make an impact. And as Iruka said, you may have a facilitator in your organization, or you can access REM to provide facilitation, or we can train your people to facilitate. So a key factor to tackle race inequality is for organizations to be able to talk about race and hearing, knowing, and understanding the thoughts and feelings of colleagues. We know that talking about race can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary and must not be avoided. Many organizations struggle to create safe spaces for honest conversations about race and inequality. My question to you all is, how well do you know how or what your colleagues are thinking and feeling? It doesn't always come out in a staff survey. So without meaningful dialogue that is heard and acted upon, we risk misunderstanding, disengagement, and the loss of valuable diverse talent. By not doing this, there is a business impact. In a recent survey that we carried out, 83% of employees said they left their organizations because they felt they didn't belong. A further 15% have thought about leaving. Think about that. That's 98% of your workforce are at risk of leaving because they don't feel they belong. So the message is clear. Your people and future talent are watching. They don't just want statements or tick box exercises. They want to see real action. And Race Equality Matters can help fix that. The solution as described by Iruka is Tea Break, which was originated by Network Rail's Race Network Cultural Fusion, and then built in collaboration with the REM community and Mental Health First Aid England. It was built to help organizations with limited capacity, limited budgets, and sometimes without the know-how how to, by making tackling race inequality everyone's business, understanding the challenges and barriers ethnically diverse colleagues face and experience in and out of work, hear the honest thoughts and feelings of colleagues, and importantly, foster a feeling of belonging. So why tea break? So for those who don't know, tea break is a 1 hour facilitated session on issues that matter the most to your people. So just 1 hour, and you could hear the difference and impact it made in Cornwall. The methodology and framework of tea break is a simple yet powerful way to break down barriers and create safe spaces for meaningful, impactful conversations. Whether participants choose to speak or simply listen, there is a focus on psychological safety, respect, and support. The tea break isn't a one-off conversation. We've seen it's a catalyst for change, and it transformed talk into understanding and understanding into action. We know it works, and we want to support, encourage, enable more of you to run one. 93% of attendees to a tea break would recommend it as a good way to address and learn about key issues. 93%. And 96% say it creates a safe environment. The way it works, 94% say it enables courageous conversations, and 93% say it enables you to understand the feelings of your colleagues. This shows how powerful it is. As a tea break trailblazer said, from the break room to the boardroom, the tea break gave every voice power and every story a purpose. And there's more. 91% say it enables you to hear the thoughts of your colleagues, and 72% that is, now understand how to support their colleagues. So to build on this momentum, we're excited to launch Tea Break Week and would like you to benefit from it during Black History Month. I'm delighted to say that Green Park will be a key partner in making this happen too. So why Tea Break Week? While some of you do have plans, we know many organizations struggle to know what to do or deliver meaningful activity during Black History Month. That's why Tea Break Week will take place as part of Black History Month to support you as an additional resource or tool. And it's going to be run between the 6th and the 12th of October. So what makes this special? It'll be a dedicated time for organizations to unite across the UK to host just one. You only have to do one. It's called Tea Break Week, but it gives you a whole week of when you can just do that 1 hour for your colleagues to create a safe space for the conversations we need to accelerate change. All you need to do is one. And it's an activity to build into your support your Black History Month plans. Your organization will be visibly and actively part of a movement committed to real change, not just corporate statements. Next slide, thank you. We also know you want it. In a previous poll, 81% said they'd like a week where organizations across the UK run a tea break. So how can we help you? So we have a ready to go, like Iruka said, how to do it right implementation guide for the tea break. 1,024 organizations have already downloaded it, and it's reaching 1 million employees. Importantly, of those who have attended just one tea break, 81% said from their experience they would use something they heard or learnt to address race inequality. That's just one tea break. Iruka's done more than one now. Imagine the impact it's having. As another trailblazer said, the tea break sparked conversations we've never had before. It's unlocked change we never thought possible. So there are two ways to get involved. Option one is a do-it-yourself. So for just £99 and free for Race Equality Matter members, you can access ready-to-use resources. That's a step-by-step guide Iruka mentioned, and also a video going through the step-by-step. So that's for the project lead. Or option two, £99 for members and £249 for Race Equality for others. It's the Race Equality Matters Support Plus package. You get everything I said in option one, but you also get expert-led training, how to do it right workshop for the project lead, and train a facilitator. We will train your people to facilitate it. In addition, you can access the resources to help engage your employees and measure impact. They include promotional content, ready to go presentation deck, and suggested poll questions so you can gather insights to measure the impact of your session. And you will have access to official assets to help you showcase your involvement in and outside your organization. They include a proud support graphic, official Tea Break Week logo, and some social media messaging graphics. We're creating all this for you. So to access this, there's a waiting list. If you just register interest, there's a link in the chat, and we'll send it after. So hopefully that's got 100% of you keen on it. If not, and you're still unsure, did you know every 100 employees you have, there is a cost to your organization of them feeling they don't belong? That is an impact on productivity, staff turnover costs, reputation, and legal matters. So for organizations like the NHS, retail, supermarkets, for every 100 employees you have, there's a cost of £55,000. Professional services, £115,000. So if you've got 10,000 employees in your organization, I can't do the maths, but that sounds like millions to me. In a world where everyone's watching, this is your chance to lead with action and not just words. Next slide. So here's something engaging. So there's the cost. So the bottom red is the 55,000 if you're supermarket retail, and 115 going to the top if you're professional service. That's the cost to your business for people feeling they don't belong. You could invest in a DEI consultant to build a concept like Tea Break, and that's £22,000. And then training was about £2,000 to £3,000. So that's on the right. So you can invest in a consultant and training to help that column on left. Or, as mentioned, at the most £249, you could take part in Tea Break Week. It's that little red line there. So for those with bad eyesight, there is a little red line there. So that's a look at the cost. So for that Tea Break Week investment, you can save the column on the left. It's good for your business. It's good for your people. So remember, in a world everyone is watching, this is your chance to lead with action, not just words. So just a quick poll to see what you think about the concept. So actually, what we'll do is we'll just go into a quick discussion about it. So we'll give people 5 minutes. So how would Tea Break Week make an impact in your organization, and what topics would be good to discuss? So if you can go into little breakouts, how would do you think, and how it would make an impact, and what would be good subject matters to talk about? So we're going to split you all into little groups for 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Sam, can we just launch the poll, please? So getting your thoughts on Tea Break Week. Do you think Tea Break Week is a good idea? 95% saying yes. No one's saying no. And the ones saying not sure, 5%. And that's fine. And we'd love to hear what's your slight reservation on it, because again, this is how we learn and can tweak things to get into that 100%. But it's really heartening to hear 95% think it's a good idea. Question 2, how likely is your organization to take part in Tea Break Week? 23% very likely, and a further 31% saying likely. So that's 54%. So the majority of you likely to get involved in it, and 34% saying unsure. Again, we'd like to hear why, and maybe it's just not sure whether you're keen, but you don't think your organization may be, etc. But we'd like to understand that. And then only 3% saying unlikely, and there's a further 8% saying you're not the decision makers. So if we take out those that are not decision makers, that makes it 60% are very likely to take part in Tea Break Week. Question 3, if Race Equality Matters ran a tea break live session during Tea Break Week and we charge £10 per person, would your organisation buy bulk tickets? So it looks like 25% of you would buy some tickets, and 5% of you more than 50 tickets, which is brilliant to hear. And 61% saying not sure. Again, maybe it's because you haven't got the budgets, or you don't. You're not decision makers, so we appreciate that. And 15% of you saying no. So what we can say, only 15% say you wouldn't, and the 85% might get involved. Final question here. If your organisation may not support you or have the budget, or you're very keen, how much would you spend on an individual ticket to attend a live tea break run by Race Equality Matters during Tea Break Week? So 43% of you saying £15, and 18% saying £20. And then obviously a few of you will pay higher, which is fantastic again. And 49% is none of the above. So so half of you looks like you would personally buy a ticket, which is great for us to know and understand. So we'll review all this and then try and come up with some kind of program and support for you all to help you and your organization get maximum benefit from Tea Break Week. So thank you again. before we close, we want to share a new solution that we're developing to support you and your organizations that we mentioned. We'll come back to photo later. It's called a DI benchmark barometer for race. Yeah, it's free to use and it's simple. So we just show you. So you just basically you just go on to it like normally else. You just put your initial details, and then there's a series of questions. It takes less than 5 minutes. This whole thing, okay? So there's a whole series of questions that we know is important to people. So that's what it will look like. Some you just pick one and some you can modulate, and then straight away you get a report and then it's emailed to you as well. So it's like a traffic light system. So if it's green, it means you're doing really well in these spaces. So in this one, if the yellow is an inclusive culture, so it's saying you're in the medium of inclusive culture, and then the red means you're not doing as well against a benchmark. Okay, so it's just have a go, and maybe you might end up doing it every 6 months, and you could just see if you're making progress. But it highlights so on this one, as you can see, this organization not doing well on awareness of key issues. So on the right, it then just tells you solutions that you can access that will help you. So we know our website's getting bigger and there's more going on, but straight away it tells you, have you thought about instant micro? You can see tea break on there and 5-day challenge. So next slide, please. It also takes into account your capacity and your budget. So if because we know some organizations have quite a large D&I team, sometimes it's someone just 1 day a week. So it does take all that into account, and it provides a thing. And so it's a quick report. It's a light report, but because you could just read through it. Even I will get from the top to the bottom of it, and then it'll help inform you. Okay, this is what we might need to focus on. Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, I think now it's just the final closing poll, please. And then we say what's in the pipeline after this. Thank you. I said this is really important to work out what's working in these events, what else you'd like to learn more of. There's only 6 questions this time. Yeah, thank you all for your time and obviously taking part in the closing poll, because that enables us to understand what's working, what we can do different, and how we can make a greater impact or help you make a greater impact. So would you recommend today's event to others? So that's 95% saying yes. And that's wonderful. And that's a big thank you to our wonderful speakers, Iruka and Belinda, and also for all of you in the breakout sessions, because I know the ones I went to were really rich, so we're learning from each other. So it's wonderful that it's 95%. So thank you all. Question 2, did you learn anything new today that will help your organization be more impactful in its actions? The focus on impactful. So 92% of you are saying, yes, you did learn something new today, and we know how valuable your time is. So for you to give up your lunch break or spend your time here, it's important that you go away learning something, because there are a lot of events we can go to where it's the same old. So thank you all. Question 3, and did you learn and hear things you wouldn't normally have access to? Again, 85% of you saying yes. So nearly all of us here have got access to something that we wouldn't have normally gotten to. Question 4, did you hear or learn anything that you will use? So, it's not just words, it's all about action. So 73% yes, you will use something, and a further 20% yes if you had authority. So that's 93% of you heard or learned something that you will look to use. Question 5, was it helpful to hear from our speakers? So 92% saying yes. So big thank you to Belinda and Iruka for providing their time and sharing their expertise, etc. Those that said no or not sure, we'd love to hear from you again to make sure we can ensure future speakers do cover everything you want and need. And final question, do you think you will have a go at Race Equality Matters Race DI benchmark barometer? And that's 59% of you saying yes, so nearly 2/3 of you. Only 3% say no, and then 37% say not sure. It's free. You can use it as many times as you want. And we can see 11 people have already logged on to it. So yeah, please do look into it, and it'll help you identify where you're strong and where you need to maybe spend a bit more focus with suggested ways you could go about it. Okay, thanks tons again for contributing to that. So we've got a race and mental health series that's focused on intersectionality. So that's for members only, but if you're not a member of Race Equality Matters, you can purchase a ticket. So that's race and mental health, which is in about a couple of weeks' time. And then we've got Race and Future Network Leads, which is get ready for Black History Month, East Asian Heritage Month, and South Asian Heritage Month, because we know how can we help you get ready for them important things. And then also we've sorry, thank you, Sam. Sorry, next slide, please. And then we've got I said tea break week training coming up. For those that register for that, and then also for members, and it's not micro how to do it right workshop. If your organization not a membership, you can still access some of these things. You have to sort of purchase a ticket. We are going to create something called Membership Light, which is aimed at individuals. If your organization aren't supporting you or haven't got as much budget, you won't have access to everything, but we're still there to support you. But I said there's still tons of free stuff on the website to help you, but we have to sustain ourselves. Okay. Next slide, please. Thank you. So don't forget, there's a Race Equality Matters jobs board. Not ask you to look for jobs. Maybe if you want to promote jobs to get more diverse talent. And I said big thank you to Iruka and Belinda for their wonderful stuff. And I said we've recorded today's event so you can get copies of what they shared. And obviously, we must say thank you to those that are keeping us afloat at the moment, Green Park and Lloyd's and our other key partners. And so we are going to use the word we are keeping afloat. So anyone that can help us support us. We do appreciate some people say they don't like us asking for money, but we've got to. We're not for profit. We're not, not ashamed to ask if you can help. We appreciate many of you can't, but if you can or your bosses can help, please do so. And we're trying to give you more for your money on that. So thank you tons for that.